Hello, and welcome to this educational program, Trade Secrets for Signing Success. By purchasing this program, you have taken the first important step in creating your successful signing career. You are more than a notary. You are a professional signing agent who understands the value in learning your craft and sharpening your skills. Your host for this program is a seasoned professional. She is the Director of Operations for Loan-Closers.com Incorporated and a mobile notary signing agent. She has participated in every aspect of the mortgage and real estate process through loan originating, loan processing, real estate sales, and mobile notary closings. She has a master's degree in business and has dedicated the last 10 years of her life to training mobile notaries to build successful signing brands. In this program, she simplifies the steps for you to become a successful signing agent. And now, here's your host, author, notary, business professional, and Director of Operations for Loan-Closers.com Incorporated, Estevan Ballesteros.
Congratulations on making the decision to invest in your successful signing career. In this e-course, we will cover several topics that are important for success as a mobile notary professional. First and foremost, we will make sure you understand how important your role is as a notary signing professional. Next, we will talk about how important it is for you to deliver on your commitments. We will talk about the skills it takes to manage your empire of one and how you can identify your clients. We will talk about continuing education as a notary signing professional and how to stay current with market trends and technology. Finally, we will discuss crucial documents that every notary must know and how you can be a defensive player in the signing process. Are you ready? Understanding your role. The first step to building a successful mobile notary business is to understand your role as both a mobile notary public and a notary document signing agent. It is critical to understand this role because there are a lot of individuals depending on you. The mortgage loan process is a long roller coaster ride, and your role as a notary public has the power to make or break a loan. Your role as a notary can help save a homeowner from foreclosure and pay a monthly salary to a mortgage professional. Your role as a notary will leave a lasting impression on a borrower. Your mobile notary service brand is a reflection of the signing company, the escrow company, mortgage company, real estate company, and oh yeah, didn't I mention your personal brand? This chapter will teach you everything you need to know to leave a lasting impression with borrowers and industry professionals. So let's talk about how emotional the experience of signing loan documents can be. A mortgage transaction is a commitment between a borrower and a lender. This commitment, similar to a marriage, can leave borrowers with an uneasy feeling. Something of a mixture between excitement, fear, anxiety, and sometimes remorse. You, as the notary signing agent, play a critical role in helping to ease these emotions, similar to a wedding planner on that special day. You are there to remind the borrowers of all of the benefits of their transaction and steer them away from buyer's remorse. As a mobile notary public and loan signing agent, you play a delicate role as being a loan consultant and a non-biased, impartial notary public. I mean, we all wear multiple hats. Think about your relationship with your coworkers. We have to maintain this delicate balance between being a friend while remaining professional and work appropriate. Well, the same is true when you meet with a borrower to sign their loan documents. Professionally, they need someone to answer basic questions regarding their loan documents. But in the same aspect, you're not their attorney and you're not their financial advisor. Creating a signing routine or schedule will help you remain on point throughout the signing. The last thing you want to do is get scattered during your loan signing. Keep a list of all the notes associated with your signing. You're to remain organized, detailed, and professional at all times. Your ability to do this will keep you away from areas that would blacklist you as a notary who killed the deal. Let's talk about appearance. Business casual or professional attire is expected. First impressions are everything, and as I mentioned before, you are more than likely the first face the borrowers have seen throughout this entire process. Remember the good old days when homeowners walked into banks and signed their loan documents in the presence of their mortgage professional? Well, in a sense, these borrowers have this unwritten set of expectations. And believe it or not, the minute that you walk to their door, they're calculating whether or not you will have the knowledge, skills, and abilities to handle this transaction. I say let's take it one step further to say that they'd be judging the merits of every other professional they've encountered throughout the entire transaction. There's a lot of weight you carry on your shoulders as a signing professional. Are you ready? If having emotional competence and professional appearance sounds like too much, well then you should pack up all your toys and go home. But if you have what it takes to balance between human emotions and getting the job done, then you have what it takes to be a loan signing professional. Professional is the word that should resonate because any further actions after this point will boil down to your professionalism and personal code of ethics. Delivering on your commitments is arguably the single most important element of your job. This is the part of the job where 99% of new notaries make the biggest mistakes. They do not understand what it takes to successfully complete a full loan signing. They underestimate the workload, and as a result, they end up costing homeowners and many other parties of the transaction lots of money. In this educational program, I will teach you the skills to deliver on your commitments and perform loan signings with the highest level of accuracy. Overscheduling is the biggest mistake rookie notaries make. As I tell many new notaries, you have to crawl before you can walk, let alone run. Beware of the lure to book multiple signings back to back. This is a skill that I know some notaries may be able to do, but it's an ambitious goal, so you really need to make sure that you get experience before ever trying it. Punctuality is a sure sign of professionalism. When notaries overschedule themselves, they can be perceived as unprofessional and can cause severe service issues. When you're late to your signing appointments, this can also cause a domino effect of tardiness, especially if you have back-to-back appointments. While some borrowers may be flexible with their time, other borrowers may not have that flexibility. They may have serious time commitments. You have to adapt to the time and service needs of each borrower. I can't tell you how many notary complaints I've received from borrowers about notaries being late and ruining their plans for the entire day. I had a borrower miss an entire day while they were on vacation in Hawaii because they were waiting for a notary. I mean, can you imagine? I'd be so upset, and I'm sure the energy at the signing table was equally as uncomfortable because, now the borrowers are upset even before they begin signing these very serious documents. Tardiness can also cause notaries to rush, and we all know what happens when people are rushed. Mistakes are just bound to happen. Document mistakes are time-sensitive and extremely costly. Missed signatures, missed acknowledgements, document misprints, these all cause funding delays. I would advise all signers to start by accepting one signing at a time. Learn what it takes to fully complete a signing in its entirety. This includes confirming appointments with borrowers, communicating the confirmation with your hiring company, receiving and printing documents, mapping the travel to meet with your borrowers, and allowing adequate travel time. I'd suggest that all notaries learn to analyze the time of their signing appointments and anticipate any sort of driving traffic. After the signing is completed, you may have additional work to do. You'd have to communicate the completion of the status of the signing and possibly scan back documents, await quality control approval to return the documents. Making sure that the documents are dropped in a timely manner is going to be one of the most important things. To avoid tons of stress and heartache, I'd just say don't ever overbook yourself. Even the best of us will run into tough signing circumstances that are out of our control. The point is, deliver on your commitment. Finally, I want to talk about handling difficult clients. Difficult borrowers are really tough to crack because, as mentioned, these borrowers go through a roller coaster ride, even getting to the signing process. So you, as the notary, may walk into a situation where borrowers are already upset. You have to adapt to each specific borrower and just find some kind of a way to adapt to them and make them fall in love with you. I'll give you an example of a notary who showed up bearing gifts. He had a signing, and he could already tell that the borrower was just going to be a handful. It was Valentine's Day, and documents were running late, and she was just really upset. Well, the notary gave me the greatest idea. He showed up to the signing with a rose. Now, if you're already set off and then the notary shows up at your house and the first thing they do is hand you a rose, immediately it takes down the defense wall. So I thought that was a great idea that I wanted to share with you. Delivering on your commitment, again, is very important. So make sure that you know what it takes to get the job done. As a mobile notary loan signing professional, you are responsible for so much more than just signing and notarizing documents. You are an individual business owner, and you have to account for all of the inflows and outflows of your company. You're like a one-man band. The amount of business elements you're responsible for are numerous. Many notaries enter the industry and leave the industry very quickly because they are unprepared for everything that goes into being a mobile notary signing agent. You're responsible for all of the business that comes through your doors, and you're responsible for the quality of work that flows in and out of your service. There is that small part of collecting. Collecting payment for your signings is a small yet huge part of running your loan signing business. We will discuss each of these concepts in depth. Marketing is an essential element of making sure that you receive business. Business cards are a must. Whenever you do a loan signing, you must hand borrowers a business card. I mean, how else are they going to special request that great notary who did their last signing and give positive feedback to their loan representative about your awesome work? Business cards provide the basic level professionalism and, in my book, are mandatory for anyone who's conducting business. Let's talk about a social media presence. Finding new clients and creating following of clients via social media is not the wave of the future. A great social media presence is the present. Welcome to the information age. Think about it. Now we have an abundance of information at our fingertips. If you want to know something, the first thing you do is probably Google it. A personal referral is now solicited after you've done your own basic level research. Stand above the notary cloud and make sure that you have an online presence. You may need to do some research to find the most cost-effective and sales-efficient approach. Some examples of social media would be like Twitter, Facebook, maybe have a personal website, notary websites, etc. As a mobile notary and loan signing professional, you are responsible for generating your own sales. An awesome way to get business in the door is by signing up with a signing service. You may take a lower signing fee because they are a third-party vendor, but by working with a signing service, you'll lighten up your workload in terms of sales and marketing because they take care of building clientele relationships with the lender accounts. I've created a sales technique that I call the 5-5-5 method. Using this approach of making 5 warm follow-up calls to your current clients, 5 cold calls to new prospects, and handing out 5 business cards to make daily face-to-face connection with potential for referrals and contacts. This approach will surely keep your phone ringing. As the notary signing agent, you have to deliver on the customer service. This includes professional telephone etiquette, follow up and follow through with your commitments, delivering on a quality service, you have to minimize errors and keep all clients happy. You are responsible for your accounts receivables. Good practice is to learn how each client wants to be billed and make sure that you set your system around their billing practices. I want to talk to you about signing table finesse. I mentioned it previously in the section where we discussed understanding your role and delivering on your commitment. Signing table finesse is a special form of professionalism and just an overall savviness that notary signing agents all should develop. First things first, when you're at a loan signing table, if a borrower has a question that you're not going to be able to answer, by you having an after-hours point of contact, that will make the world of difference. As a mobile notary signing agent, you're not there to answer borrowers' questions and give them opinions as far as whether or not they've got a good loan product. The loan product that they've decided on that they're going to be signing documents for, all of that is generated based on maybe their credit scores, their debt to income ratio, whatever loan program they have, we have to trust that it's the best product for them. And it's up to you to connect them with their loan agent if they have any further questions at the signing table. So I always tell notaries, get an after hours point of contact so that in the event that the borrowers have any questions, they will be able to speak directly with their loan officer. We live in an immediate gratification age. I know I carry a 24-hour emergency cell phone, and I'm sure that there are several other business people that do the same. Cell phones are it. So anytime that you've got a loan signing that you know you're going to be doing, and it may be after hours, make sure that you have an after hours point of contact. Another element of signing table finesse is controlling the entire signing process. So as I mentioned previously, you have to find maybe keep a grid or a checklist of which documents you need to sign first, some kind of a way that you're going to control the process of having borrowers sign their loan documents. Last thing you want is the pages scattered here and there, and then you have one borrower signing, then you miss the other borrower's signature. It just sounds messy and out of control. To control the process, look at how many borrowers you have. Is there one borrower signing? Are there two borrowers signing? And create a flow of how you distribute the paperwork. Adapting to borrowers. This is an incredible element of signing table finesse. I mentioned it previously on when it came to delivering on your commitment, getting a full understanding of the borrowers. This is an emotional transaction. There are lots of sensitive issues in the air. You have to adapt to the borrowers so that they like you. They need to not only like you, they need to love you. So what I usually do, I tell notaries, get in the habit of checking out, the home. Do you see that? Are they a family-oriented set of borrowers? Is it an individual borrower? Adapt to that specific borrower so that you can have something conversational to break the ice and just enjoy the signing process. But beware, there are certain conversational topics that are always off limits. Certainly do not get into any discussions about religion or political beliefs or anything that can be a topic of debate. You want to keep things as professional as possible. The last element of signing table finesse deals with business cards. I tell everyone, business cards are mandatory. Don't leave that signing table without handing out your business card. You are there to do a professional job and to leave a professional image in those borrowers' minds. So make sure that you leave the table by handing out your business cards. Let's talk about borrowers at the signing table. You can do everything right at the signing, but if the borrower signs documents incorrectly, this will be considered a notary error. Why? Because you are there to do more than notarize documents. You are there to make sure the loan documents are executed correctly so that ultimately the loan will fund. Borrower signatures must reflect the signature line. Make sure they do not oversign or undersign. They must sign exactly as their name is printed on the documents. Also, borrowers must date consistently and make sure that they use the same ink color consistently. Be careful, some lenders are sensitive about ink color. Borrowers must also fill out all information needed on the document form. All documents are in the package for a reason, so make sure you advise the borrowers to fill out everything in its entirety. Remember, you are providing a quality product and service to your customer chain. Make sure you triple check your work and the borrower's signatures to ensure a flawless package. Learning to identify your clients is essential as a notary signing agent. A lot of notaries sign up with a signing company and they think that the signing company is the only client that they have to worry about servicing. Sometimes they're nice to the signing company contacts, and then if a loan officer contacts them directly, they're rude to a loan officer. I've got news for you, my friend. If you are a notary signing agent, all of these parties are your clients. All of these parties includes your signing company, your escrow company, your loan officer, and those borrowers. All of these parties are interconnected, not only through this transaction, but through any further transactions that you would have in the future. Remember, this community is a small community of mortgage professionals, and you want to make sure that you don't burn any bridges. Become a professional notary by servicing all of your clients and providing every single one of your clients with the high level of service that's expected. Continuing education is an important habit for any professional to adopt. Continuing education is what keeps you current. What keeps you valuable? What keeps you in the know? Webinars like this program that you've signed up for are always very valuable. The information that you can take away and recall at a later time it's tremendous to helping keep you in the game. Seminars are also a really good important element of continuing your education. The thing I like about live seminars is not only do you get the hands-on information, but it also puts you in a community to be able to network with other industry professionals, making new points of contact. Ebooks are another example of ways that you can continue your education. If you have a tablet or if you have a smartphone, this information will be right there at your fingertips, so you would always be able to recall on the information. Audio programs are another good form of continuing education. I mean, think about it. You can multitask your time while you're driving to go meet with borrowers. You listen to an audio program in your car and stay current with what's going on in your industry. The last thing that I'd like to suggest for any notary is look out for the free literature that's available to you. If you go to different websites, they may have, just tips and tricks for what new notaries are doing, what's in the notary board. The free literature is invaluable. So continuing education is an important habit for you to adopt today. On the topic of continuing education, I want to talk about staying current. What are we noticing from the signing community that is currently in the industry right now? So some current market trends I do need to talk about. We're going to mention the CAM scanner application, the e-sign. There's an application for e-signings, and we'll also talk about this page separator application. All of these are forms of technology that are currently being used in your signing industry right now. So you want to get on board. You want to get savvy with it. You want to know what other people are doing that is more time effective, more efficient, and what is potentially the wave of our future. It's current and our future. So take a look at this PowerPoint slide, and you will notice that we have a hyperlink for the cam scanner application. There's also a hyperlink for an e-sign application, and there's a hyperlink for the page separator. You can check these out, go on your own time and take a look at these company websites, get to know the products, because that's kind of where the industry is headed. I want to talk to you about the cam scanner application because it's something that we in the signing community are really excited to promote to our clients. The cam scanner application allows notaries to scan critical documents right then and there from the signing table. Now, why is this something that's important? For signing companies, a lot of times they will ask you to fax in certain documents after the appointment for quality control. Well, when you do that, it's actually kind of tedious. You have to go back home, fax documents, make sure that you don't take them out of stacking order, and then put them back into stacking order before sending them out. Takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort, and it's a lot of hard work. And if the quality control department notices any mistakes, then you have to travel back to the borrower's homes to get those corrections made. Well, this cam scanner application, which is available to you on both the Apple and the Android market, the cam scanner application allows you to take pictures right then and there at the signing table and then email those documents over to whoever it is, your recipient. Either that's your signing company or your loan officer. If you're working directly with an escrow company, you can email them copies of those critical documents right away. The wonderful thing about this is if they notice any mistakes on those documents, they can contact you right then and there at the signing table. Another really important element of this is that you can send those files secured on your cell phone. So it's actually another really important element to add to the borrower to just help them feel more secure that file can be sent in a secured message, and then you delete it right then and there right in front of the borrower, so that way they stay comfortable with the technology advancement. I also want to draw your attention to this e-sign application. This is another trend that we're noticing right now in the signing community. Now, I remember when e-signs were introduced, and I want to say that was like in the change of the millennium, around like 2000, 2003. That was supposed to be the wave of the future. Some of the first e-sign programs were like AmTrust. I remember another program called Fiserv, and what notaries would do, they had to have wireless access and be able to use their laptop right then and there from the signing table. Well, that ended up, a lot of notaries ended up having a lot of challenges at the signing tables with doing these e-signs. So in the market, we saw a pullback from e-signs. Right now, as technology is advancing and a lot of notaries are starting to have tablets, it looks like they're headed more towards e-signs again. And if you're not sure what an e-sign is, the really cool thing about e-signs is that the borrowers don't have to physically sign the document. They can sign it with their finger. There are different programs, but some of them they can just sign with their finger, and it makes it so streamlined, so fast, so easy. The minute that you're finished with the signing, it communicates that set of loan documents directly to the lender. So it cuts down a lot of the travel time when it comes to like FedExing or UPSing documents back to the lender. It saves them that entire day. So e-signs are kind of like the wave of the future. They're making applications for e-signs available to you. So take some more time, research e-signs, and see if it's worth it for you to invest in staying current with the market. The last form of technology that I want to talk about is a program that was introduced to me. It's called the page separator. And this is so that documents can be printed according to PDF page size. Now, if you have invested in a $500 printer, then wonderful, kudos for you. You don't need to. You don't have to worry about this program. But let me talk to you about this program a little bit more and see if I can sway you to think about this product. The page separator can be used if you are printing documents from your car. A lot of notaries are doing mobile print jobs now where they literally plug in their printer to the lighter section of their car. And if you've done any loan signings, sometimes loan documents run late. So by printing from your car, you can literally get a smaller printer and if you get those late documents, literally can print from your car. Now, this page separator is a program that you purchase a program. I want to say it might be like $69 or so, and you owned that part of the program where you just download the file to your computer. The cool thing about this page separator is that we know that it's secure, so you don't have to worry about uploading documents to somebody else's site. This is a program that's installed on your computer, and it helps you separate the documents to print them according to PDF page size. Now, why do you want to print documents according to PDF page size? I'll discuss that a little bit later when we talk about printing documents. But when you don't print documents according to the correct PDF page size, it can be costly. Sometimes documents get cut off, sometimes they get shrunk, and it delays the entire signing process. At the end of the day, you just really want to avoid making print mistakes, and you want to make sure that you're saving time and money for all parties involved. So the point is just stay current with the industry, get in the know of what's happening, and stay on top of what's going on in your field. The next phase of this program is going to focus your attentions on crucial documents that every notary must know. A sure sign that you are a rookie notary into this industry is when you ask questions about pertinent documents that obviously every single notary should know. That's every notary that's doing loan signing should know. So some of those documents that we are going to cover are going to be the HUD or the settlement statement. We'll take a look at the note, the security instrument, the right to cancel, the deed, the preliminary change of ownership, the statement of information, and the customer ID form. The HUD or closing statement. The HUD-1 itemizes all closing services and fees charged to the borrower. One thing that you should pay attention to as a notary is line 303. This will list if there's any cash from the borrower that's going to be needed or any cash that's going to be going to the borrower. This is where you'll see if a check is collected. Now, it would be nice if escrow companies or mortgage companies would say, hey, this loan signing is, needs to take place tomorrow. And by the way, the borrower will have a check for $27,000. Please make sure that you collect it. But a lot of times they won't. They expect that their notary signing agent knows how to read a HUD and knows when money is due at the closing table. So that is one thing that I want to draw your attention to. Line 303 is where it'll tell you whether or not there are any funds due. Another thing for you to pay attention is the borrower will need to sign the last page of the HUD or settlement statement. So pay attention to that. There should be a signature line on the last page. The note is one of the most important documents in the entire set of loan documents. The promissory note is the commitment for the borrower to repay the loan. So literally, if there is no note in your package, then it should red flag you that you may not have a full loan package. The note is a security agreement or contract between the borrower and the lender, basically where the borrower agrees to pay back the loan. It's not a notarized document, unless some of them, they're rare occasions, we've seen a note that requires a notarization. But for the most part, notes are never notarized. The borrower just needs to sign and initial if there are initial lines indicated. But basically, it's just really important that you know that there always has to be a note in the package. If there is no note, that's a sure red flag for you to give a call and make sure that something's not missing. The security instrument. This document may be recognized as the deed of trust or a mortgage. The security instrument is a document where the real estate property is pledged as a security for debt. The mortgage can be anywhere between 5 and 16 pages. And one thing for you to pay attention to is that A lot of times it'll require initials at the bottom right-hand corner of all of the pages of this document. Some of them may not require it, but for the most part, make sure that you draw your attention to the lower right-hand corner to see if there are any initial lines, because if so, you do need to make sure that the borrower initials those pages. The last 2 pages are going to be the most important pages in terms of your notarization, because the second to last page is usually the signature page. You need to make sure that the borrower signs their name exactly as it's printed on that document. And then the notarization page is another one where you need to make sure that you acknowledge the borrower's signatures appropriately. Obviously, you're going to make sure that you affix your notary seal and make sure that the borrower's names are spelled correctly, that the dates are perfect. Make sure that your notarizations are flawless. The Notice of Right to Cancel is a very critical document. This document allows homeowners, and this is for owner-occupied properties, it allows them a 3-day rescission period. If it's a non-owner occupied property, there actually will not be a Notice of Right to Cancel in the package. So if you ever do get a document package and you do not see a Notice of Right to Cancel in the package, your first question should be, is this a non-owner occupied property? One essential thing to notice about this document is it's a 3-part document that includes the transaction date, the rescission date, and the actual acknowledgement of your Notice of Right to Cancel. When executing the Notice of Right to Cancel, the first point of awareness are the dates on this document. There is a transaction date, a rescission date, which is 3 business days following the transaction date, and the signature date. This date will usually match the transaction date. All mobile signing agents must have knowledge of the correct date that needs to be entered on this document, and they must have the skills to correct this form if needed. When correcting the right to cancel, the borrower will need to cross out any previously entered dates, correct the date, and initial beside the correction. They will do the same thing for the rescission date. They will line it out, initial it, and correct this date. The borrower will then sign the signature exactly as it's printed on this form and will date their signature date, the exact same date of that transaction date. I have encountered rare instances of correcting right to cancel documents from other lenders that may vary slightly, but for the most part, these are standard procedures for executing and correcting a Notice of Right to Cancel document. I want you to pay attention to deeds. There are grant deeds and quitclaim deeds. Deeds are included to alter the loan or to exclude someone from the refinance loan as they were either included on title or had some type of an interest in the property. All borrowers must sign and date if their name is listed to sign. If they have any questions of why they need to sign this document, then they need to contact their loan representative. The preliminary change of ownership report is always going to be included in the package. And one thing to pay attention to is if there is a quitclaim deed or a grant deed in the package, a preliminary change of ownership report always has to accompany these deeds. Borrowers a lot of times would get confused as to why they need to fill this out, but this document, the preliminary change of ownership report, has to be included in order for the deed to record. One thing to pay attention to with the preliminary change of ownership report is that the borrower has to fill it out to the best of their ability, and their signature page is page 2. The Customer ID form and the Statement of Information document are 2 documents that every notary must be aware of. Know why it's required by the lender and have the ability to handle borrowers' questions so that they can ultimately be executed correctly. The customer ID form is a document for notaries to fill out and sign. This document helps keep lenders in compliance with the Patriot Act. Notaries must fill out this form to ensure that they are doing their job as a notary, which is to ensure that the borrowers are who they claim to be. Pay attention to the requirements of this form because the requirements vary according to each lender. Some lenders require one form of ID, while others require two forms of ID. Some lenders are okay with supplement forms of ID, while others have specific lists of forms of ID that are acceptable. A skilled signing agent can adapt to the lender needs by reading this form and following the appropriate requirements. This document does not require notarization, though some forms of this document may have spacing that seems perfect for a notary to place their stamp. The Statement of Information is a document that borrowers need to fill out in its entirety or to the best of their ability. Now, many borrowers will say, I don't need to fill this form because I've already provided this information to my loan representative. Or they'll say, do I need to fill this form out? As a skilled loan signing professional, you must politely advise the borrowers with authority that this form must be filled out by them. This document is coming back blank. It's kind of a common gripe that many of my loan processor clients have complained about. This document is required for their files, and it holds up the loan process if they don't have this form filled out. You may occasionally run across a borrower who insists that they will not fill this form out because they do not wish to relinquish this information in front of a notary who they don't know. If this is the case, please follow the following appropriate steps. 1. Have them call their loan representative, and if they're unable to reach the loan representative, they must leave a message expressing their concerns to their agent. 2. Advise them that this form will be a requirement and there is an additional copy in their set of the borrower's copies. And 3. Prepare them to make arrangements to send this form directly to their loan representative following the closing. Documents to notarize. Please do not just place your stamp on any document. It is very important that you, as a notary, are familiar with the notary verbiage and recognize notary language. Notary language is special to notaries because it's like the code language, if you will, that screams, place your notary stamp here. If you do not recognize this language, it becomes quite evident that you've never notarized before. I can't tell you how many new notaries have fooled people into believing that they're experienced notary so that they can receive a signing appointment because I guess most companies, especially ours, requires the notaries have 2 years of experience. So I've seen new notaries tell a small lie so they can receive orders and gain experience. They figure they will feel their way through the signing, then the client receives docs back, and the notary has stamps on every single page. This will make you look like a complete rookie. In the next section, we will discuss the 2 forms of code verbiage that signals a document as a document that requires notarization. Every state has verbiage that varies slightly, but the code remains the same. Notaries are to stamp documents that have jurat or acknowledgement language. So now that we've discussed distinguishing between jurats and acknowledgements, let's cover how to fill this section out flawlessly. The first thing you'll need to do is enter the state. If the property is in another state and it's pre-printed with the wrong state, you may line out the state, initial it, and correct the state. Next, you will enter the county. The same rule applies. If you need to correct this section to the county in which you are notarizing, you can certainly do so. Jurat verbiage is easily identified by the subscribed and sworn verbiage, and the section reads, subscribed and sworn or affirmed before me this 17th day of June 2013 by, this is where you clearly print the borrower's name. Remember, the spelling must be correct. Jane Doe, who proved to me on the basis of satisfactory evidence to be the person who appeared before me. You will then sign your name and clearly affix your notary seal in the space allotted. Remember, your stamp should be neatly placed and should not cover any wording on the form. You will easily identify acknowledgement wording by the word acknowledged that appears in the notary language. So to execute an acknowledgement section properly, you first enter the state and county in which you are notarizing. Remember, you may correct this section if needed. And the document reads, on June 17th, 2013, before me, John Q. Public, Notary Public. Remember, you will need to enter your title here. Personally appeared the borrower, Jane Doe. Remember to make sure the names are spelled correctly. Who proved to me on the basis of satisfactory evidence to be the person whose name is subscribed to the within instrument and acknowledged to me that she executed the same in her authorized capacity, and that by her signature on the instrument, the person or entity upon behalf of the person acted executed the instrument. You will then sign your name and clearly affix your notary seal in the same space allotted. California acknowledgements are slightly different, as they include an additional set of verbiage that says, I declare under penalty of perjury and the laws of the state of California that the foregoing paragraph is true and correct. Save yourself tons of stress and heartache by being a defensive player in the signing process. This means that you have to have your eyes wide open to all aspects of your job. And remember that no balls should get past you as the notary. A part of you has to be non-biased about the details of the loan product. However, it is still crucial that you have an open mind to double and triple checking your work, and not only yourself, of other parties involved in producing the loan documents. You will be having borrowers sign their names exactly as they're printed, but remember, playing defensively will save your valuable time and will make sure that everyone's hard work and effort is not in vain. Once you receive documents and before printing, you should make sure this borrower's names are spelled correctly and double check to ensure the address on the loan documents is correct. If this information is not correct, you can reach out to your hiring personnel so they can communicate with all parties who produce the documents and decide if they can have the borrower correct and initial the documents, or decide if a new set of documents should be produced. You should also check the date of the documents. Most states require documents to be signed the date of the documents. These are considered wet states. There are a few states that are not considered wet, and documents may be signed after, never before, the date of the documents. We've included a list below, but you should always reach out to your hiring personnel to double check the date sensitivity of the documents if you notice the date of the documents is different than the signing date was requested for. There are certain document must-haves. I've experienced countless situations where notaries do not have the entire package of documents signed. The reasons are numerous. Perhaps the loan representative or escrow party did not send a full package. Perhaps the printer stopped printing mid-package. Perhaps the complete PDF file did not transfer appropriately. Whatever the reasons may be, ultimately, the result is a costly, time-sensitive situation that can financially hurt a borrower, loan representative, escrow, or signing company. You, as the notary, should align yourself strategically and defensively to support your entire customer chain. Most full sets of loan documents are between 120 and maybe 175 pages. That's on the larger side. But anything smaller than this should be a red flag indicator that you may be missing some documents. You need to have a mental checklist of the documents that you are awaiting from your clients. This checklist includes lender documents, escrow documents, and return shipping information. Now, we've provided a screenshot of how these documents will look on our website. But for the lender documents, just take note that this is a large package that's generally between maybe 89 maybe 89 to 120 pages. This document set includes the bulk of your notarial acts. A major document to look for in this set is the note. The note is as mentioned previously, the note is among the most important documents because without this document, there is no loan. Another important set of documents are the escrow documents. This package is usually between 15 and 40 pages. There may or may not be documents in this package that require notarizations, but a lot of times there is a grant deed or a quitclaim deed in this package. A settlement statement is also the document found in this set of loan documents. Finally, you need to look out for return shipping info. Many lenders and escrow companies will include a return shipping label with the doc package. If you do not receive a return shipping label or any return shipping info with the loan documents, you should follow up and request this info. It's best to request this information as early as possible, so that you do not delay documents. A good habit is to check with your clients to confirm how they send their docs so you know how to expect them. Will they be emailed to you? Are they password protected? Will they upload documents to their secure site? If so, do you know how to access this? These questions help you to be a proactive notary. The truth is, oftentimes documents are late, and the last thing you want to do is receive a short pass and then find yourself in a stressed, rushed situation. This creates that same domino effect that we spoke about before that will sabotage the signing experience for both you and the borrower. Printing is a major aspect of your notary signing business. Invest in a good printer. Dual paper tray printer with the ability to print to automatically shift between legal and letter size paper is ideal. Now, if you've already spent money and you did not invest in a dual paper tray printer, I will also recommend the page sorter program that we talked about earlier. That program will help you decide which pages need to be printed on legal and which pages need to be printed on letter size paper. The point is, deliver a good product, and printing is part of the product that you are delivering. Another suggestion is for you to find a local print shop to help work with you. This will help you if your loan documents arrive late. If your loan documents are late and you need help getting your print job done, you can call your local FedEx Kinko's or a local print shop and talk to them and see if they can print that package for you. Now, if you do document printing at a FedEx Kinko's, make sure that you specify black and white. It's about 9 or 10 cents a page. If you've got 100 pages, it could come out to about $10. This $10 to invest to print your documents, trust me, can save you a lot of stress and a lot of running back and forth. Let's say if your documents arrive late and you would have needed to go back to your home, find a local print shop. Another suggestion that I have is for you to print extra copies of the deed and the right to cancel. These are both crucial documents that must be executed with perfection. And it's a good habit to print out a couple extra copies of these documents so that if you're at the signing table and let's say the borrowers make a mistake and they undersign or they oversign and you need them to re-execute, then if you have an extra copy, it'll be as simple as, okay, well here, just change out the page. Always check your documents. In this industry, everyone is moving so fast, and you have to quality check not only your own work, but you have to quality check the work of others. Do you have loan documents? Do you have escrow documents? Do you have return information? Are the borrower's names spelled correctly? These are important questions to ask yourself while you are printing documents. I've had a few notaries who are really good defensive players who found before printing documents that, hey, these borrowers' names are misspelled. Good point. It was like a good save where they didn't have to waste a lot of money printing documents only to realize that the documents were not going to be valid. So keep your eyes open, stay strategic, and make sure that you do a good job printing documents. Every trade has tools for success, and the signing trade is no exception to that rule. So we've gathered some tools that it is critical for you to have as a notary public. It'll just help make your life a lot easier and keep you prepared. So first off, having extra all-purpose acknowledgements and jurats on file is very critical. You never know what can happen. Maybe the notary section is flawed for some reason. Maybe the verbiage is outdated. Maybe you walk into a second part of a split signing situation, and it's critical for you to have extra all-purpose acknowledgements and jurats. Extra pens is also essential. Believe it or not, I had a loan signing that ended up getting rescheduled. It cost the homeowners hundreds of dollars because of the taxes that were involved. All because they didn't have an ink pen. Can you believe it? The notary showed up, they had one pen, that pen ran out of ink, and the entire signing had to be delayed. I think it was in a really remote location, and the stores were closed, and no one had a pen. Paper clips, if a check is collected. Sometimes borrowers will have checks that need to be returned with the loan documents. Notary throws it in with the package. If a lender is not expecting that check, there is a really high possibility that they can throw the check away with the FedEx package. One way to avoid this is to make sure that you have paper clips available. I've had some notaries use a rubber band. Just make sure that you have some kind of a way to bind that check to the documents. Detailed notes from signings. Some notaries may keep a memo pad. I personally like to keep the application. There's a memo notepad application on my smartphone. Whatever your system is, just make sure that you keep detailed notes from the signing. Extra return envelopes and shipping labels for major couriers. That goes without saying. Sometimes you'll find that maybe a drop box may not have any extra shipping labels. You don't want to be in a position where your package is delayed because you didn't have the right tools for success. And also, a really good investment is to create a courier account. You can reach out to your local FedEx, maybe Golden State Overnight if you're in California. I believe they offer that service. UPS. And let them know that you're a signing agent, you send out X number of packages, and you can negotiate yourself a deal. Now, why do you want to have a courier account? Let's say you make a mistake and you are the one that's responsible to pay the shipping expense. If you have a one-time shipping expense, it can run you anywhere between $15 and $60 for that overnight expense. If you have a courier account and you work out an arrangement with your lender, with your courier, that could run you maybe $10. Now, $10 compared to $60, big, huge difference. Make sure that you have a courier account available. Avoid costly shipping nightmares. Sometimes a signing can go so smoothly, only for things to get completely messed up at the finish line. Anytime I've encountered a shipping fiasco, I think about the movie Castaway. In this movie, a FedEx plane went down, and so did all of those packages. Can you imagine if you had an important package that needed to be overnighted, and it was lost in that situation? If a package is not scanned back to the hands of the client, this can create a serious, time-sensitive, costly situation for the borrowers and lender representatives. This also jeopardizes the credibility of you as a notary. Don't risk carrying the responsibility of a lost package. I've developed a system to help you avoid costly shipping nightmares. Knowledge is power, and the more you know, the better prepared you will be in times of disaster. The better prepared you are, the stronger support you'll be able to provide to your client chain. So first off, to avoid shipping nightmares, keep records. Whether it's a physical notepad, a notepad application on your smartphone, you should always detail the time and location of when you drop a package. If you can, obtain a receipt if possible when you drop those documents. Take pictures. Another healthy habit is to take a photo of yourself dropping docs at a drop box. This helps secure yourself if FedEx loses your docs, and they do. Sometimes packages have been found stuffed down at the bottom of a drop box. If the FedEx driver is moving too fast, there is a possibility that they may not pick up your package or scan it in. So protect yourself by taking pictures. Know the times of drop boxes that are near you. Utilize the benefits of technology. There is an app for almost everything. You should take a moment to download an app to your smartphone that will tell you the pickup times of courier drop locations near you. If you don't have a smartphone, that's okay. Just do your homework ahead of time and keep a list of locations and times. Finally, track your packages. This is a proactive habit that will help put you ahead of the game. If you notice that your package is not tracking ahead of time, this may motivate you to call or stop by that location to make sure that everything continues to flow according to plan. Believe it or not, I have had some packages where a notary hands a package to a clerk, and that clerk sets that package down on the counter and it never gets scanned in. Be proactive. Make sure that these kinds of things don't happen to you by staying on top of the game and avoiding costly shipping nightmares.
Thank you for making the investment in your signing career by listening to this program with mortgage signing expert Stevan Ballesteros. We encourage you to review this information at any time to sharpen your skills. For additional tools and information, please visit our website www.loan-closers.com.